We'll get started.
Good afternoon, Judge Mincy. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Whenever you start, we're going to be starting with ACDC with position number 1, Ms. Alston.
Okay. All right. Let me give my little opening and we'll get going. Let's see. Who do I have? Miss Champion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I was making sure. Thank you, dear. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Judge Regina Mincy. We're going to be. This is a calendar for cases in which individuals have recently been arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has already accused the cases of the offenses brought against them, and these cases have been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will usually be the defendant's initial appearance before state court judge, so we are able to address several matters such as bond, possible arraignment, and a possible plea offer. One has been made at this juncture. Ms. Champion, what's the SAP reset date?
It's August the 8th.
I see it in the chat now. Sorry. All right, August the 8th. I want to remind everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube, so govern yourselves accordingly. I want to also remind the defendants on this calendar that you have certain constitutional rights. You have a right to have representation at this juncture in your case, so you should know who your attorneys are at this point and listen to them. You also have a right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts, the circumstances, and the occurrences of this case can and will be used against you. The state's here and they're listening. So once again, govern yourselves accordingly and listen to your attorneys. All right, first case we have up is 24 CR 005089A. It's like Glenlecia Alston, charged with 1 count of battery family violence, pretrial.
Fifth arrest, 2023 probation, 2022 FTA, 2020 given false name conviction, and a 2016 trespass conviction. Shoplifting conviction, I'm sorry.
Okay, state.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred July 24th, 2024. The incident location is 4638 Bakers Ferry Road, Southwest in Atlanta. The victim in this case is Darius Lee, who shares a child with the defendant. The defendant is accused of showing up to Mr. Lee's house and refusing to leave. The victim began recording the defendant, and she is seen on video snatching the phone out of the victim's hand and engaging in a physical altercation, which left scratches on both of the victim's wrists. Officers determined the defendant was a primary aggressor based on the evidence at hand and the officer's past experience with the parties. Our office has had a chance to speak with the victim in this case, Mr. Lee, who confirmed that him and the defendant were together for approximately 5 years. They share children and they do not live together. He stated that they do not have a domestic violence history and he is not afraid of her, but he didn't want to answer any more questions and wanted the defendant to leave his house. He didn't want her to get arrested, though. He did state that he wants no contact with the defendant, wants her to stay away from his residence, and would like a third-party transfer for their children. So the state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial services, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, a third-party transfer of the children, anger awareness, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. I would ask the court to sound for the victim, Mr. Darius Lee.
All right, Mr. Lee. Darius Lee, are you on the Zoom? Don't think I see anyone with that name. Go ahead, PD Cook.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 25 years old and has lived her whole life. She is an ABS tech. She denies the allegations as stated in the warrant, but we would have no objection to a signature bond or a stay away, no further contact. We would object to the anger awareness course. As far as the third party transfer of the kids, I guess I don't know if they were married when the children were born, so I don't know if there's ever been any legitimization. I don't believe she necessarily wants to keep the children away from him, but I just want to state that from the record.
All right. I will, I'm going to order a $2,500 signature bond. I guess she has the job and good enough contacts. I'm assuming she will come back to court.
Absolutely.
And since she has the children, I will go ahead and make that through the jail. I'm going to order her to stay away from 4638 Bakers Ferry Road, which I believe was the victim's address. And if there's visitation allowed, then it should be precipitated or handled by a third party. Since there's going to be no further contact between Mr. Lee and Ms. Austin as he is requesting, then you all will not be able to communicate to do the visitation exchange if it's allowed with the children. So you'll need to find a third party to do that for you. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And that's all I'll order at this point.
Next, we could go to position number 13, Mr. Johnson.
Okay. This is 24 CR 005096Y. Emil Johnson, charged with 1 count of battery, family violence, 1 count of battery, and 2 counts of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Pre-trial.
Third, 2014 FTA. 2014 shoplifting. That's it.
All right, stay.
Your Honor, this is my case.
Okay.
This is an incident from July the 16th of 2024. Location is 8847 Fairview Bluff. That's in Johns Creek. Police responded to the location on a domestic call. There they met with the victim, Accusations Jackson. She reported that she shares a newborn with the defendant. She was notified that he had left his phone in her car and needed to come retrieve it. She told him she'd bring it to him at work, but before she could leave her mother's house where she lives with her 2 children, he showed up at the location and walked her to the car with their newborn. She put her 2-year-old in the vehicle and was going to put the newborn in the vehicle as well when they talked about what she had seen on his phone. He became upset. Took her keys from the ignition of her car, transferred their infant into his car, walked over to the 2-year-old, whose first name is Zian, Z-Y-A-N, last name Clark, C-L-A-R-K. And the defendant pushed the little boy down with his knees, causing the little boy to get a laceration and scrape on his nose and above his lip. Victim reported that she asked the defendant why he'd pushed the child down and to stop behaving this way in front of the children. He punched her in the eye while he was there in front of their infant and the 2-year-old. He then put the infant into his car and fled the location. The victim followed and tried to get her child out of the vehicle. When she approached the driver's seat after finding out that the back part of the vehicle where her child was locked, he acquiesced and gave her the baby back and told her to chill out and fled the location. Your Honor, we've got some concerns in this situation specifically. I don't have any information that shows this gentleman has any parental rights to this child. We could have charged interference with custody at this point. She was seen to have bruising and a black eye. And this is someone with 2 small children in the home. We would say this needs to be a surety bond. We would ask for $1,000 on each count. To have no contact with the victim in this case, I'll spell her name. Ikesia, I-K-E-S-E-I-A, Jackson, and to stay away from the location, 8847 Fairview Bluff in Johns Creek. We've reached out to the victim, but have not been successful in contacting her yet. And that's all the information I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
And
afternoon, Your Honor.
Attorney McLeod, okay,
Yes.
go
My
ahead.
client is 32 years old, Your Honor. He is the father of 3 children, including a 2-month-old that he shares with the alleged victim. My client absolutely denies these allegations, Your Honor. He says essentially the alleged victim was recently arrested because of an interaction she had with him where she came to his home. They do not live together, although they share this young child together. My client doesn't have any record of violence, Your Honor, and he, as I said, is 32 years old and has 2 older children. I would ask the court to consider giving him a signature bond. He does not have to interact with the alleged victim other than in terms of their child. And he's okay with no contact with her except as it pertains to his parenting of this child, Your Honor. But he absolutely denies what she's alleging, that he struck her or even that he struck her child. And he has told me that he has some evidence where she was telling someone, and he has a recording of that she actually lied to the police. So I would ask the court to give him a signature bond so he can get out of jail.
What did you tell me he is or isn't working? I
He is
forgot.
working, Your Honor. My client is a responsible person. He lives with his 2 other children and their mother. And he is an entrepreneur, but he also has a full-time job.
All right, I will grant the $4,000 signature bond, 1,000 on each charge. And with that 4,000 signature bond, I will have it through the jail. And I will order a stay away from her residence, the 8847 Fairview Bluff in Johns Creek. He's to stay away from that location. No further contact with the victim, Arkesia Jackson. And if there is visitation allowed with the children, then that must be handled or scheduled with a third party.
It's just one child, Your Honor, the young, the 2-month-old.
Oh, just the one is his, the 2
Yes,
months. Okay.
he lives with his 2 other children and their mother.
Okay. And I think she has another child, right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, that's not his. All right, so if there's to be visitation or exchange with the baby and him, they would need to go through third party, her mother or somebody else, to schedule and precipitate visitation. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I think that'll be it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What was that bond amount?
4,000 on each. Miss Champion, did you see PD Kim's message if she could go in a breakout?
It
with
was
the
me, but who is
Spanish
she gonna-
interpreter.
And who else?
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Strong. I don't know. Let's see, look at her chat message. She needs to
I see
interview.
it, but where's the defendant?
Courtroom 1, courtroom 2, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, jail court's iPhone. The breakout room is for jail court's iPhone and Kim.
Oh, jail court. Yeah.
And can we go to position number 17, Mr. Vinny?
It's not your case, PD Kim.
Which one was it, Your Honor?
17, Vinny.
No, that is my case.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right, go ahead. You can go on to your breakout. This is 24 CR 00509 4B. Samuel Vinny, charged with 1 count of battery, pre-trial.
41. He's been in custody since last year on a RICO charge. 2022 probation, 2021 FTA, 2017 false imprisonment arrest, 2017 failure to appear, 2016 simple assault, death by taking, disorderly conduct conviction. I stop there.
All right.
And that's my case, Your
And
Honor.
SG Allen, okay.
This is an incident that occurred. There are 2 different dates on the paperwork. One says June the 20th of 2024. The other says July. This is an incident at the jail. The defendant has a conviction for ag assault with a deadly weapon, which would make a bond for him required to be a good bond in this case, Your Honor. The report indicates that at 901 Rice Street, which is the Fulton County Jail, the defendant caused visible bodily harm to another inmate, Tyre, Tyre McDaniel, causing injury, bruising and swelling to the right side of his face. He had to be transported to Grady. We would ask for a $5,000 good bond, Your Honor, and absolutely no contact with the victim.
All right. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. As the state has stated, my client has been locked up for quite some time. So obviously he's not working. He doesn't have any resources to pay bond. So I would definitely ask the court to take that into consideration in setting a bond for him. He tells me that he did not do any kind of harm to this person. He tells me that this person is probably a cellmate of his, but he denies the allegations in their entirety, Your Honor. And of course, he is presumed innocent. Any kind of bond other than a signature bond is essentially no bond for him, Your Honor. So I would ask the court to take that into consideration. Nothing further.
All right. I'm going to order the $5,000 surety bond. I am going to order that he have no further contact with the victim, Tyre McDaniel, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while out on bond if he makes bond. So that's all I can order. Is just to be 200 yards or more away from Mr. McDaniel. Hopefully the jail can make sure that happens. I know he's not 100% in control because he is an inmate at the jail, but hopefully they will not be in the same cell any longer, or maybe in the same area. So that's it.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Number 11, Ms. House.
24 CR 005085C, Lashana Hiles, charged with one count of DUI and second count failure to maintain lane.
Second arrest, 2015 out of California. It says false personation of another and shoplifting.
State.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred July 24th, 2024. Officers observed the defendant failing to maintain her lane. Upon conducting a traffic stop, the officers smelled alcohol emanating from the defendant's person. The defendant did admit to officers that she had 2 mixed drinks about an hour before entering the vehicle. A field sobriety test was conducted as well as a breathalyzer, and it was determined that the defendant was under the influence of alcohol. The state's recommendation is a $1,000 surety bond on the DUI, a signature bond on the failure to maintain lane, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Repeat your recommendation again.
A $1,000 surety on the DUI, a signature bond on the failure to maintain lane, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
All right. Whose case? PD Cook?
Yes, Your Honor, we have no objection to the recommendation.
Okay. So I will order a split bond with $1,000 surety on the DUI and 500 signature bond on the failure to maintain lane, 1,500 split. And that 500 on the failure to maintain lane is a signature bond through the jail. And no driving unless she has a valid driver's license. I don't know if her license was taken or not. Should have been. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And that's it.
Thank you, Judge.
Mhm.
Next, we can go to position number 7.
This is 24 CR 005082G, Audrey Hardiman, charged with 1 count of possession and use of drug-related objects. Pretrial?
18 total. Last was in Chatham County, possession of drug-related objects. Sale of marijuana, suspended license, drugs not in the original container, possession of meth, possession of a Schedule 2. And she's on probation for drugs out of Chatham. She out of Chatham Hold too. That's all.
All right.
This incident occurred July 23rd, 2024. Officers were dispatched to the incident location 771 Lindenberg Drive, Northeast Atlanta, in reference to a suspicious person call. Upon arrival, they observed the defendant and another individual in a vehicle. The defendant's feet were hanging out of the vehicle and her body was over the middle console. In her hand was a clear plastic bag, and officers found a glass pipe in her purse. The state's recommendation is a signature bond. Stay away from the incident location. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while on bond.
Okay, PD Cook.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to order $2,500 signature bond. And that will be through the jail. I'm gonna order, I don't know, to stay away from the 771 Lindenberg Drive. Where is that? Is that just a random address?
Give me one moment and I will check. It looks like it's an apartment complex, so I don't know if that is where she lives.
Okay. But we'll stay away from there. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I guess she's gonna be released to her Chatham County hold.
Next, we can go to position number 12.
This is 24 CR 005084J. Jayla Jean Baptiste, charged with 1 count of battery family violence. Retrial?
This is John Batiste, right?
Yes.
A 9th arrest, 2018 FTA. Just got an open driving without a valid license, failure to have license on person. That's real old. She don't have any violent arrests. He or she. Okay.
Okay. State?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is accused of striking her boyfriend's mother, Pamela Johnson, in the face several times, grabbing and pulling on her hair, pulling her to the ground, and punching and actually kicking the victim in both arms. The victim sustained bruises and scratches on her arms as a result of this assault. The parties do live in the same residence. The state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond. Stay away from the incident location, which is 557 Westlake Avenue, Northwest Atlanta. No further contact with the victim, Pamela Johnson. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond, and anger awareness. I would ask the court to sound for the victim, Ms. Pamela Johnson.
It's my home.
All right, Ms. Johnson. Pamela Johnson. All right. Go ahead. Is it you, PD Cook?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 28 years old and has lived in this area her entire life. As you heard, she had no previous issues with violence. She completely denies the charges as stated in the warrant. Her position is that Miss Johnson was the aggressor, and she was at best engaged in self-defense. She has two kids that live with her, and yes, they all three live at the Westlake Avenue apartment complex. I'm not sure she has any place else to go. She has no other income, so she would be hard pressed to make a surety bond, and it may be difficult for her to find other living arrangements with her two children. But we understand that there might be a stay away. So we would be asking for a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate. We would have no objection to no further violent contact. Again, this is her home with her two kids. So we would object to any kind of anger management, and we would hope that there would be a chance of her going back to her home with her children.
In our office, I do not believe has had an opportunity to speak with the victim in this case, Ms. Pamela Johnson. So because of that, we are still going to recommend that there be a stay away and no further contact until a time when we can speak with the victim.
Whose location is this? The 557 Westlake Avenue?
So all of the parties live at that location. The victim's son is in a relationship, I believe, with the defendant. And so I'm assuming that is how they all came to live at the same location. I'm looking through the documents again to see if it specifies like whose name is on the lease or who owns the residence, but I don't think the documents specify.
All in the same apartment. Can you answer that, Mr. Cook? Or ask your
Yes,
client?
that's my understanding, Your Honor.
They all live in the same apartment.
Yes, Your Honor.
Lord, can she hear me? We don't stay in the same apartment. That's my apartment, not her apartment. She has a house. We stay in that apartment, me, my husband, my two kids, not her.
Okay.
She was staying with us, and she moved last year. She just comes because she's my mother-in-law, so she always welcome to our house because she helped us get the home. But she
Okay.
don't live there.
So the mother-in-law, does she live somewhere else in Georgia?
And she live in Clayton County,
Okay.
660 Collier Road.
Okay. So Miss Johnson, the mother-in-law, and lives in Clayton. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Well, as long as the victim does not live there, and if we could maybe have someone confirm that she does not live there, then of course we would not have any objection to not having a stay away.
Where did we get that from? Does it say it in the report or on the
It
warrant?
says in the documents that the parties all live together.
Oh. All right. So what I'm going to do is I will order a $2,500 signature bond through the jail. And I'm going to allow the defendant to go back to the incident location with a police escort to make sure that the mother-in-law does not live there. And as long as they obviously don't find any clothing and bunch of personal items of the victim, then the defendant can stay there. But if when the police, you're gonna have to arrange for police escort when you get out, Ms. Joan Baptiste, to make sure that that condition on the bond is being met. And you can stay there as long as your mother-in-law does not stay there. You all that have no further contact right now. Stay 200 yards away from her. So I guess you can't come over and visit if you're there. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. All right. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing.
Nothing further, so.
Okay.
Next, we can go to the add-on position, which is the interpreter case,
Add-on position, which one?
number 3.
3. Okay.
Yes.
This is 24 CR 00511068. Osvaldo Ruby Crespo, charged with 1 count of battery. Free trial.
Crespo, what we got? First arrest. That's what I have.
All right. State. This ASG Allen.
Yes, Your Honor, this is my case.
Okay.
This is an incident that occurred between 2 roommates. That's what the documentation that came in with this young man reported.
Okay.
The interpreter case.
Has the interpreter had a chance to talk to these folks?
Yeah, I just want her to, turn her mic on.
No. Yes or no?
Yes, she has.
Oh, this is the interpreter case, Ms. Chansey.
Yes.
So this is an incident that occurred on July the 24th.
Well, hold on 1 second. Is this an interpreter case or not? I'm swearing, Ms. Chansey.
It is.
Okay, Ms. Chansey, can you unmute yourself?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I spoke to Mr. Ruby Crespo with Ms. Kim, J. Kim,
Oh, okay. All right. Raise your
but
right
not
hand.
to this gentleman.
That's who we have now, Mr. Ruby Crespo.
Mm-hmm.
That's who's before us now. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes,
Okay. Do you affirm that the interpretation that you will do from Spanish to English and English to Spanish will be to the best of your abilities with no embellishments?
yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right. This again is a case of State versus Osvaldo Ruby Crespo, charged with 1 count of battery family violence.
Este es la Fiscalía contra Osvaldo Ruby Crespo por golpes y lesiones, violencia familiar.
And pretrial stated that this was his first arrest.
Los servicios previos al juicio dijeron que este es el primer arresto.
And now the state is getting ready to present.
Y ahora va a presentar la Fiscalía.
All right, go ahead, ASG Allen.
Thank you. This is an incident that occurred on July the 24th.
Este incidente ocurrió el 24 de julio.
Location is 5320 Roswell Road.
La dirección es 5320 Waslow Road.
Police responded to the scene and met with the victim, Jose Villarana.
La policía llegó y se contactó con la víctima, José Villarana.
He reported he'd been punched in the face by the defendant.
Él informó que había recibido una bofetada de el acusado.
He was observed to have 2 black eyes.
Se observó que él tenía 2 ojos negros.
And other physical injuries were noted, multiple scratches all over his legs and swelling to his face.
Y se observaron otras múltiples lesiones como rasguños en las piernas y también inflamación en la cara.
The victim reported that he had been drinking with friends at the apartment when the defendant assaulted him.
La víctima declaró que él había estado tomando con algunos amigos cuando el acusado lo agredió.
Police were able to locate the defendant. Someone on scene assisted with translation.
La policía lo encontró en el lugar y asistieron con traducción.
The defendant told police that the victim had spoken to him in a disrespectful way, so he hit him.
El acusado le dijo a la policía que la víctima le había hablado de una manera irrespetuosa, por eso lo golpeó.
The state would be asking for a stay away and no contact. That's 5320 Roswell Road. The victim's name is Jose, Jose. Villarana is Villarana.
Lo que la fiscalía requiere es que se mantenga distanciado de la dirección 5320 Waslow Road y no tener más contacto con la víctima, quien es José Villarana.
We would be requesting a SOB through pretrial, Your Honor.
Pedimos una fianza bajo firma, bajo firma a través de los servicios previos al juicio.
We'd like a $2,000 bond.
Una fianza de $2,000.
All right. PD Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client, Mr. Ruby Crespo, is 26 years old.
El señor Ruby Crespo tiene 26 años de edad.
He was born and raised in Mexico. He came to US about 2 years ago.
Él nació y se creció en México y vino a los Estados Unidos hace 2 años.
He's been here in Georgia for about a year, and Mr. Jose is his brother-in-law.
Él ha estado en el estado de Georgia más o menos por 1 año y el señor José es su cuñado.
He's gainfully employed as a landscaper.
Él está empleado por haciendo paisajismo.
He completed up to 6th grade in Mexico.
Y completó hasta el 6º grado en México.
And he has no objection to stay away and no contact with Mr. Jose.
Y él no tiene ninguna objeción de mantenerse alejado y no tener más contacto con el señor José.
And we have no objection to signature on bond through pretrial as well.
Y tampoco objetamos una fianza bajo firma a través de los servicios previos al juicio.
Even though we strongly prefer to have a signature on bond through jail.
Perdón, una fianza bajo garantía, aunque hubiéramos preferido que se nos otorgue una fianza bajo firma.
He's a single without any kids, Your Honor.
Él es soltero sin hijos, su señoría.
Nothing further from defense.
Nada más de parte de la defensa.
All right, I will order the $2,000 signature bond through pretrial.
Ordeno una fianza de $2,000 bajo firma a través de los servicios previos al juicio.
And order 2-day anger awareness course.
Y que tome un curso para el manejo de la ira.
And stay away from 5320 Roswell Road.
Y que se mantenga alejado del 5320 Waslow Road.
No further contact with the victim, Jose Villarana.
Y que no tenga ningún contacto alguno con José Villarana.
No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
Se prohíbe el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas mientras esté libre bajo fianza.
And I guess that's it. Did I leave out anything, counsel? I'm sorry?
At what level? Pretrial level?
Oh, level 1.
El nivel 1 a través de los servicios previos al juicio.
And I guess that's it.
Thank you.
Your Honor, could you please repeat the case number for the interpreter?
Oh, yes, 24 CR 005106 B as in boy.
Thank you.
Next, we have position number 9 on the regular calendar.
May the interpreter be dismissed, Your Honor?
I believe so. We don't need a interpreter. If you want to make a quick announcement, you can, but I don't believe.
¿Hay alguien que necesite un intérprete en español para hablar con la señora jueza? Por favor, avísenos, prenda su cámara y avísenos.
All right. That'll do it for today. Thank you, Ms. Chanson.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
Mhm. All right, number 9 is 24 CR 005083D, Jatorian Henderson, charge at 1 count of failure to report an accident, 2nd count giving false information to law enforcement. Pre-trial?
Henderson 4, adult arrest. 2022 theft by receiving, fleeing, and officer dismissed. 2017 driving without a valid license. That's all.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is accused of striking the building located at 4979 Old National Highway, College Park on November 4th and failing to report the accident. I believe that building is a Super 8 hotel. Officers contacted him on November 15th regarding the accident, and he gave the false name of DeAndre Williams and the fake birth date of November 15th, 1995. The state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial services. Stay away from the incident location at Super 8 Hotel. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
And I like it too.
All right, I will, let's see, go ahead. PD Cook, I'm sorry.
Your Honor, we have no objection to that. We would prefer, given his modest income, that it be through the, well, it's a signature bond, but, we would prefer, that it be through the jail.
All right. That'll be 1,500 on each charge for a $3,000 signature bond. And with that $3,000 signature bond through the jail, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I guess that's all I order for now.
That was to pretrial?
I'm sorry.
It was a signature bond through pretrial? Well, it was.
Jail. Jail.
Okay.
Okay, because I couldn't understand what you're saying.
Your Honor, you're gonna order to stay away from the Super 8 hotel?
Oh, yes, thank you. And stay away from that Super 8 hotel, 4979.
What was the breakdown? What was the breakdown, Your Honor?
1,500 each.
Okay.
Hey, come up here, man. Yeah, cause you gotta go to the cop. Come up here. Sit here. After him.
Is that it, counsel?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's all. Your
Okay.
Honor.
Next, we can go to position number 5.
This is 24 CR 005091A. Knighton Kumar Chug, is that how you pronounce it? I'm not sure.
Nathan Chug.
Hi, it's you, Judge.
Freeze. Hi, Ms. Rockwell, how are you?
She's muted.
All right.
What number
24
is this?
Number 5. 24 CR 00. Not for sure what my Zoom is doing here. 509A, charge of 1 count of battery.
I think it may be Ms. Rockwell's because she's logged on for more than one device.
Oh, okay, Ms.
Could
Rockwell.
you mute my other device? If you mute my other device, I'm not sure how to do that. Okay, we're ready now, Judge. Sorry about
Okay,
that.
that's okay. And she's charged with 1 count of battery. Pre-trial.
6 total. 2012 DUI. 04 simple battery, first offender.
Okay.
Your Honor, this incident occurred May 6, 2024 at 261 17th Street, Atlanta. Officers met with the victim, Callie Franklin, who advised that she had been assaulted by her boyfriend, the defendant. The victim stated the defendant was belligerently throwing things around the apartment, then grabbed the victim by her arms and swung her across the room with no explanation. She stated she did not know what caused the defendant's behavior or why he attacked her. The victim had bruises on both of her arms, and she said she also had a bruise on her left hip and that she was bleeding earlier from the side of her face. The victim stated this is not the first time the defendant had been violent. A couple of months ago, while they were in Miami, he had pushed her against a wall. She stated the parties had been living together since January 2024, and she did advise police that she had a place to stay until she was able to retrieve her items and her cat. The state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, anger awareness, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. It looks like the defendant has moved from that residence, and I do see that that residence was sold on June 24th, 2024, so we won't be asking for a stay away. I would ask the court to sound for the victim, Ms. Callie Franklin.
Okay, Ms. Franklin,
Yes, ma'am.
do you wish to address the court today, yes or no?
Yes.
And let's see. Oh, there you are. And it's Callie, Callie.
Yes, ma'am.
I was giving someone more of a Georgia accent. I thought they were saying Kelly.
Sorry, no, it was
I
Callie.
don't want to talk about anyone's accent. Okay. All right, Callie. Raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony they're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you in fear of, is it Nitten and is it Chug?
Nothing. Chug.
Nip. Right. Are you in fear of him?
No, ma'am.
Do you want to have any further contact with him? Do you want to have any further contact with him?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Say that again. Didn't catch it.
I had said yes, ma'am.
Oh, you said yes. Okay. All right. And you all live together?
No, I have moved from the residence.
Okay. All right. Any cross-examination questions from the state?
Just to confirm, had Mr. Chug been violent with you in the past?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what did he do that time?
It was just like a shove.
Did you receive any injuries?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Attorney Rockwell?
And Judge, I have been in contact with the victim extensively. I know that a while back when this happened, I want the court to know that this was a detective-driven warrant. I think after the police were called, there was no movement on her behalf to press this warrant going forward. I just wanted the court to know that, and I explained to her the difference between no contact, 0, and no further violent contact. For the record, Judge, is it my turn? Shall I address
Yes.
the court?
Yes.
Okay. For the record, Judge, he is 38 years of age. He was born at Northside Hospital, graduated from Northview High School in Alpharetta, then attended Kennesaw State, where he studied business. He is not married, no children. He is working for his family business. He's in property management. What I can safely tell the court is that he is not on probation, parole, or any kind of suspended sentence. He does not, to my knowledge, have any open cases, Judge. And he is, I think, a good bond risk. After this alleged incident, Judge, I got in touch with as many police officers as I could in the city of Atlanta, together with the fugitive unit, and we knew nothing about this warrant. I don't know, maybe it took too long for the right hand to get in touch with the left hand, but we would have taken care of this a long time ago, Judge. So just for the record, I always ask my clients that have charges like this, I've identified and I ask them to faithfully attend and complete a 24-week family violence intervention program. So I would ask that the court follow the state's recommendation regarding the $2,000 good surety bond with no further violent contact with the alleged victim, Judge.
Okay.
And he does work in and out of town, Judge. I've submitted in my earlier sign-in to Zoom his updated address, which is 8445 St. Marlowe Fairway Drive. I can put it in, if anybody needs that address again, I can put it in the chat. That's in Duluth, Georgia, 30097.
Okay. I will order the $2,000 signature bond. It's like there's enough contacts here. And with that signature bond, I'm going to order that through the jail. I'm going to order no further violent contact with the victim. And I guess there was no recommendation of a stay away, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so there's no further violent contact and no drugs, alcohol, guns, or weapons while on bond.
Thank you, Judge. May I have that CR number one more time?
Yes, 24 CR 00509-1A.
Thank you, Judge. I'll file
right, thank you.
an entry, et cetera. May I be
Okay, great.
excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you for helping
Okay,
us,
you
Judge.
too.
We appreciate it. Thank you,
Take
Madam
care.
Prosecutor.
Mhm.
Yeah. Next, we go to position number 8.
Okay. This 24 CR 00509-7G, Jonathan Harver, charged with 1 count of battery, family violence, 2nd count of simple battery. Pre-trial?
6 total. He got a lot of driving related stuff. I saw 2019 simple battery DV. That was dismissed. That's all.
Is he awake or is he? Oh, okay.
And that's my case, Your Honor.
Okay.
This is an incident from the 24th of July at 11902 Aspen Forest Drive in Johns Creek. At about 5 p.m., police were called to the location on a domestic incident. On the scene, they spoke with the defendant and his brother, as well as his mother, who was a witness. The defendant's brother is the victim in this case, Benjamin, same last name, Hall-Ver. He reported that the defendant had been drinking all day and arguing with their mother. He had told his older brother to go upstairs and sleep it off. The victim was sitting in a chair in the home when the defendant walked over and used both of his hands to shove him and the chair backwards, causing him to fall to the floor. When the victim got up, they began arguing and ended up fighting. During that altercation, the victim sustained scratches on his face and his left shoulder that were observed by police. Mom was spoken to and corroborated what Benjamin reported, that the defendant had been drinking all day. She walked outside at one point because she just didn't want to be present with what was happening. But when she walked back in, she witnessed her son, the defendant, pushing the victim in the chair, causing it to fall over, and then they started to fight. This defendant has multiple convictions for DUI and substances. He has a prior simple battery, Your Honor, family violence arrest that was null prossed in our court after he completed treatment program for 120 days. And the victim in that case in 2019 was the same victim, his brother. So there's clearly a substance abuse issue here and a safety issue at the home. So the state would be requesting a $2,000 surety bond, stay away from the location at Johns Creek, 11902 Aspen Forest Drive. Have no contact with the mom in this case. First name is Nikki. I'll make sure what the last name is, excuse me. And the victim, Benjamin Hall-Ver, Hawver.
Hello,
Who's there?
this is his mother.
Okay, in order to speak to the court, I must see you and turn on your camera. And I'll swear you in if you wish to address the court.
To tell you the truth, I don't know how to do that.
Is there anyone else at the home that can help you? Because otherwise, I don't
I'm
know. who
out in
you
the
are.
parking lot of the jail right now. There's no one around. But I want to know what happened to my son. My son did not look like that when he left my house yesterday.
Please don't speak.
Ma'am, our office has tried to get in touch with you. Our victim advocate is on the line. If you want to put your phone number into the chat, someone can give you a call.
Well, you're more than welcome to walk through the security and come to the courtroom too.
I would be more than happy to do that. I'm right out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
She's not able to come in the courtroom.
Oh, she's not permitted to come to the court?
It's because of construction purposes.
No.
And she's got the same last name, Your Honor. So it's Nikki, Nikihawver.
Just I have no way to verify who's speaking to me.
Oh, I know. I was just letting
Yeah.
you know the last name was the
Okay.
same.
Because your phone ID is Samsung.
Hello?
Yes. I'm not going to be able to speak with you because I can't verify who you are, but if you could tell us your phone
Someone
number.
tell
and
me
put
how
that-
to do that. Okay. My phone number is 770-896.
Your Honor,
You don't want your mother to come in?
Your Honor, officer is gonna walk out there to see if she could help her turn her camera on.
Oh, an officer is coming to your car.
Dark blue.
I've been hitting the prompt. If she's not able to see it, so for her to start the video.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't know.
I've done it a couple of times, so I'm not sure if she's able to see it, but I have been hitting it.
If she could just come to the front of the jail, officer should be out there.
Okay. I'm on my way to the front of the jail.
Okay.
Hello.
Your Honor, if you'd like to move on, we can circle back.
Okay.
Obviously, it's up to you. I just wanted you to know.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking soon as I move away from it, she'll pop on.
You'd like me to go first, Your Honor? This is Speedy Kim.
Yeah, we
Then-
can.
Yes, Mr. Jonathan is 35 years old, and Your Honor, he was born and raised here in Georgia. Right now, he has been slow with his private contracting construction business. Because of that, his financial situation is very tight, and he's not going to be able to pay for any bond. So we would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial, Your Honor. And we would like to request for no further violent contact with his mother, since his mother was not a victim in this case. And I believe his brother is not afraid of her. I'm afraid of my client, and his mother and his brother and my client, three of them are living together at 11902 Aspen Forest. And that's about it, Your Honor. It seems like she's ready.
Mom now.
Hello.
Yes,
Can you see my picture now?
I can.
Okay.
I thought you were a victim in the case. You're not a victim in the case.
I was present.
Okay,
Correct,
this
Your Honor. She's a witness.
she's a witness. This is not his trial. This is a bond hearing.
Yes.
And I know that you all live in the same house. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm not going to ask you any more questions because I would ask them of Benjamin, the brother. Is he with you?
No, but he was earlier, but he had to get off the call, but you can call him.
Yeah, the victim witness advocates will call and speak with him.
We
Now
did
that
a
they
trial
have-
already.
What did you say?
Hello? We attempted to speak with Benjamin. We have not heard back yet. He's been sent a text message and a voicemail.
He told me that that he got a text message and he came on the Zoom call for a little while, but he had to get off.
Okay, well, make sure by tomorrow he speaks to the victim witness advocate that sent him those messages, okay?
Okay.
All right, but you can still listen in now.
Okay.
All right, I've listened to both sides, and it appears Mr. Halver has enough contacts, and I'm sure he'll come back to court. But what I want to make sure is that his brother, the victim, will be safe at the home since you all three live together, and that this incident has had the proper cooling down period, which I don't think it has because it's been less than 24 hours. So, I would want Jonathan Oliver to go stay somewhere else so that this can cool down and to make sure
Okay.
that no more incidents.
Okay,
So, PD Kim, does he have somewhere else to stay?
you'd have to ask him, but I could, if he had to, I could
Ma'am,
send him.
just listen, okay? Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah. PD Kim.
Mr. Jonathan, do you have a place to go?
Yes, I
you
do. I do.
Okay. So I'll give him a signature bond to get out as long as he has somewhere else to go stay. So it'll be a $3,000 signature bond to the jail. No further contact with your brother, Benjamin Halver. You need to stay 200 yards away from him. No contact through your mother or any other relatives or third parties. Also want you to stay away from 11902 Aspen Forest Drive in Johns Creek right now, till we can sort things out. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. So do I need to order you to go to some AA meetings?
No, ma'am. No,
That
ma'am.
would be the request of the state, Your Honor.
I'm more.
Excuse me, just one
Mr.
second. If the
Jonathan, you have
court's,
a right to remain silent. Please do not say anything.
if the court's inclined to give this gentleman a SOB through the jail, he is a convicted felon. He has got felony convictions for DUI and possession of cocaine as recently as 2022, two of them actually to DUI convictions. He completed treatment in 2019 after a similar assault on his brother, and had his case for simple battery in 2019 dismissed after completing 120 days. So required sober time as far as the criminal history would be, I think, paramount. So we'd appreciate that.
Sounds like it because of the history. So I'm going to order you to go to some AA meetings, at the minimum once a week, maybe twice, to make sure that you're still on track to stay sober. And I've ordered no alcohol or drugs while on bond, but I'm going to order you to go to some AA meetings, at least one, if not two a week, and make sure that you're staying sober, okay? And I said no further contact with your brother, Benjamin Halver. And I guess I don't need to include the mother in that, or no further violent contact with his mother. I know she's just a witness, but I won't do that. I guess it's not necessary at this point. All right, is that it? Anything else, counsel?
Your Honor, can you break down the bond for me, please?
Oh, because I said 3,000, 1,500 on each.
So I want to clarify that no further violent contact with mother.
Right.
Thank
And
you,
no
John.
further contact with brother. Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Next, we have position number 14.
All right, this is 24 CR 005086F. Ben Kobina, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. Pre-trial.
Fifth adult arrest. Last arrest was June, simple battery DV. 2014 possession of marijuana conviction. That's it.
All right. State.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred July 21st, 2024. The incident location is 3360 Hager Way in East Point. The defendant is accused of trespassing at that location with two other individuals. The incident location is currently on the market for rent by the homeowner. Officers observed the defendant in the home refusing to answer the door when they arrived. The defendant was wearing gloves at the time of the incident and could not tell officers why he was in the home, as the home did not belong to him and it didn't belong to the other two individuals that he was with. One of the individuals the defendant was with, Tyrell Lee, had a fake lease to the home, a bag full of tools used for breaking into homes, and Mr. Lee was in the process of changing the security cameras and the locks on the doors. The defendant was charged with criminal trespass. The documents did not state what the homeowner's name was, but it did state that officers were in contact with the homeowner. The state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial services, a stay away from that incident location, 3360 Hager Way in East Point, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
All right.
This is P.D. Cook's case,
Oh,
and I'm
P.D.
just
Cook.
texting you to. Yeah, there we go.
I'm sorry. We would have no objection. We would prefer a signature bond to the jail, but no objection to the stay away or contact issues.
Okay. I will order a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from 3360 Hager Way in East Point. Do not go back there, Mr. Kobina. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I think that's it for now.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Next, we will go to add-on number 5, Mr. Thomas.
Number is this?
Add-on
Add-on 5.
Add on 5.
24 CR 005109E, Ricky Thomas, 1 count of simple battery, family violence, and 1 count of criminal trespass.
Fourth arrest, 2009 burglary conviction, 2015 armed robbery, ag assault, dismissed. That's all.
State.
This is my case, Your Honor. This is a delayed arrest. It's actually an incident from October of 2022. At the time, Mr. Thomas was living with the victim in this case, Camille Irvin, Camile, Irvin, Ervin. This is an incident that was reported at 11 p.m. Police responded to 3201 Downwood, DOWNWOOD Circle, Northwest, and that's unit 2306. The victim reported that they had argued over the fact that the defendant wanted her cell phone to look at it and wanted her to unlock the cell phone. She came home and he'd been drinking and she was concerned about his behavior. He started to demand that she delete his brother's contact information from her cell phone. She wasn't sure why. He pushed her into their bedroom and shoved her on the bed where he pinned her down and said he was going to punch her if she didn't unlock her phone or give him the phone in order to do it. The victim reported that she gave the defendant the PIN to unlock her phone and she fled the location to a neighbor's house where she was able to use the phone. The criminal trespass on this case is interfering with her possession of her phone. She actually didn't get her phone back that day when police arrived. The defendant was on scene packing his things to leave, but locked the victim out. She had to get the leasing manager to assist her to get back into her apartment. And when she went inside, there were multiple items missing, lots of electronics. The victim said in the police report that she just wanted to get her things back. And the police officer, I believe, reported to her on the scene that she should work through the defendant's brother to get her things back and have the locks changed. And at that point, she still did not have her own phone. She had to provide police with the phone number of a friend in order to get in touch with her. This case was reviewed by an investigator and warrants were obtained. Our office has tried to reach out to Miss Irvin, but we have not been successful today. If you would sound for her when it's the appropriate time. The state would request an SOB through pretrial level 1 or 2, whatever pretrial's recommendation would be, to stay away from the victim in this case, have no further contact, and stay away from wherever she lives currently. And we'd ask for a $3,000 SOB through pretrial, Your Honor. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Okay. Mr. Cook?
I believe this is Miss Kim's case. I did not speak to Mr. Thomas.
Oh, yeah, it is my client, Your Honor. I apologize. I totally thought it was pretty Cook because the screen was on. I apologize.
That's okay.
Mr. Robert Thomas is my client. Ricky Thomas is my client, Your Honor. He is 32 years old, and Your Honor, he graduated from high school, and he is gainfully employed as a Western Express driver. And we would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial level 1. He has been in the jail ever since July 11, 2024. He was arrested at Savannah, Georgia, and then he got transferred to Fulton County yesterday. And I wasn't sure whether this was actually for the same charge or not. I could not verify within that short period of time after I interviewed him. So we would like to get more information about that. And please consider that he has been in the jail for more than 2 weeks, and he is really facing serious danger risk to lose his job, and I don't want that to happen, Your Honor. They do not have any child together, and this happened almost about 2 years ago, and they don't have any relationship anymore. So no further contact, no stay away is totally appropriate, and this has been really old case, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. I'll order a 3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 2,000 on the battery, 1,000 on the trespass. I'm going to order, and I didn't ask, this Camille Irwin. I don't think she's on the Zoom, is she? Okay. And I'm going to order, I guess no further contact with her since we don't know. I'm assuming it's over, but don't know. Want her to be safe. Stay away from 3201. Is it Downwood Circle?
We would just request to stay away from wherever she lives at this time.
Oh, because by now she may live somewhere else. Yeah.
Right.
Right. So basically stay away from her home, her residence, and her place of employment. And with the pretrial, I guess it'll be level 2. And I'm going to order him to take a 1-day anger awareness course through pretrial. And No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. That'll be it.
What's that amount?
3,000, 2,000 on the battery, 1,000 on the criminal trespass.
No, not for you.
The documents in Odyssey related to this gentleman's intake all say July the 24th for his processing. Let me look at his criminal history just to see if it shows an arrest in Chatham County.
I think that Chatham County was a fugitive from justice, wasn't it?
From here.
Yeah, so that was it.
Yeah, so that it's the same thing. Same charge, only one charge, Your Honor.
I just
So-
don't see anything in the docking or the booking documents that say he came in from Chatham County, or when that transport happened or when they picked him up. So if you understand, that's fine.
Yeah, so I was
We
wondering.
don't have, we just have the one count.
Yeah. Can you have a signature on bond through jail, Your Honor?
There
So
are
he
2 counts. It's a
gets
simple
to-
battery, family violence, and a criminal trespass.
So there are 2. Okay. So that was 2 and 1.
Mhm.
I mean, I can bring him down to a level 1.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, next.
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear what was the last.
Oh, I said I'll bring him down to a level 1, but it's a 3,000 SOB through pretrial, level 1, 2,000 on the simple battery, 1,000 on the criminal trespass.
Okay. Next, we go to position number 2 on the add-on calendar.
To add on that Robinson?
Yes.
Robinson Fights,
Bye.
okay. 24 CR 005107A Dwight Robinson Fights, charged with 2 counts of simple battery, family violence, 1 count of terroristic threats, and a 4th count rather, of pointing or aiming a gun or pistol at another. Pretrial.
His 5th arrest. 2018 and 2017, he had some violent arrests. They were dismissed. 2013 trespass conviction.
Your Honor, that's my case.
Okay.
The defendant has a 2018 terroristic threats felony that was amended to a disorderly, and he has a conviction on that disorderly. He had an aggravated battery on a school officer in 2017 that was dismissed out of DeKalb, as well as a criminal trespass, family violence, and a battery family violence from 2018 that was dismissed out of DeKalb. This incident occurred on July the 24th. The victim in this case is the defendant's wife, she reported. Her name is Raven Rogers, Rodgers. She may be on the Zoom, so if we could sound for her in a moment. At 3 a.m., police responded to 5401 Old National Highway, where the victim reported that the defendant had thrown her into a wall, and when she was on the ground, kicked her in the face and stomach. She reported that they'd argued about infidelity. The defendant snatched her phone and stomped on it, and then punched her in the face. He threw the Alexa device in their home at the back of her head and fled from the home. At that point, she locked the door. She was inside with multiple children, her infant son, a toddler, maybe 5 years old, with 2 children, I believe, with the initials RF, as well as her niece, who is a tween. with the initials NJ all witnessed the encounter. And they spoke to police, two of the children did. So the victim locked the door when the defendant fled. He then ran around to the back of the door after she refused to let him in to the front. And he tried to break the glass sliding door. He brandished a firearm at her that was corroborated by the tweenage child with the initials NJ who spoke to police. One of her sons also spoke to police and reported that he saw the defendant kicking the door, yelling, saw his mother get kicked in the stomach and in the face as she was laying on the ground. While police were on scene, the victim received a text message from the defendant saying to her that he was going to come back and get her. Officers advised this victim to go and stay with family and not stay at the residence. And the defendant was eventually picked up, Your Honor. We've been in contact with Ms. Rogers. She reported that they've been married since 2023. They have no children together. The location is leased under her mother's name. Her two sons, I think there's a typo in the police report or the warrants. It says one child is an infant. They're actually 10 and 7, but reside with them. She said this has never been violent in this manner before. She wants no contact and to stay away from the residence. She also reported that the defendant's family had already picked up his belongings, and so there's no need for him to have a one-time escort, Your Honor. We would be asking for a $4,000 surety bond, no contact, stay away from the location. Again, that address is 5401 Old National Highway. No drugs, alcohol, or firearms. Thank you.
All right. You Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Robinson Fikes is 30 years old and he was born in New York. However, he has been here in Georgia for more than 20 years, Your Honor. He does have a medical disability, and with that, he does have a little bit of low paying job right now. So $4,000 surety bond will be very financially challenged for my client to pay for. We would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial, whichever level Your Honor deemed to find it appropriate, even with a level 3 or 4, he is willing to comply. He has no objection to stay away. He has no objection to those stepping by there. They don't have any biological child that they share, so it is okay to stay away as well. We don't have to have no third-party transfer either for children, and we just would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial. Thank you.
Okay.
And if Your Honor could sound for Ms. Raven Rogers.
All right, Ms. Raven Rogers. Raven Rogers.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, do you wish to address the court today, yes or no?
Yes, in terms of the report that was made, no, he did not kick me, but he did throw me against the wall.
Okay, in order to address the court, you would have to have your camera going.
Okay.
Right, there you go. Raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, are you in fear of Mr. Robinson Fikes?
Yes.
Do you want to have any more contact with him?
No.
Okay. Any cross-examination questions from the state?
I'm sorry?
No, I was asking, I don't have any more questions of you. Those are my two concerns. And I was asking if the state or the PD has any cross-examination questions for you.
I have no
Okay.
questions.
None, okay. All right, you can mute yourself again. And I'll give my ruling. What was the state's recommendation again?
We requested a $4,000 surety bond, no contact with the victim and her children, stay away from the location, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Okay. All right, and Miss Rogers has said she doesn't want to have any more contact at this time. I'll order the $4,000 surety bond. 1,000 on each of the charges. Stay away from the incident location or any residence or work for the victim, Miss Rogers. No further contact with Miss Rogers. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Anything else, counsel?
Mr. Robinson Fikes, I know you have a hand raised, but please do not say anything. You have a right to remain silent. If you have any question, please feel free to call me. I'll be happy to explain to you.
Okay.
We can go to position number 1 on the add-on calendar.
Okay.
Mr. Pointer. Come on, to the chair.
Daniel Pointer, 24 CR 005108Y, charged with 1 count of simple battery, family violence, pretrial.
Second arrest, 2022 suspended license, possession of marijuana. That's an open traffic. Excuse me. That's
Okay.
it.
All right, state.
That's my case, Your Honor. This is an incident that occurred on July 24th at 1888 Emery, Emery Street at about 6:45 p.m. Police responded to the location where the defendant's live-in girlfriend, Lauren Cummings, that's spelled Lorin, reported that she and the defendant had been laying in the bed together. One of her girlfriends was laying on the couch in the living room. The defendant got up out of the bed where she was and went into the living room, woke her friend up by sitting down next to her. Her friend felt uncomfortable. Mrs. Lauren Cummings, the victim in this case, requested Mr. Pointer to move so that their friend, Mrs. Manning, could continue to sleep. He became aggressive, yelling, and forcefully pushed her against the kitchen wall and slapped her. Her friend, the witness in this case, Mrs. Manning, recorded this incident and assault on a video that was shown to the police. We have been in contact with Miss Manning, or Miss Cummings, excuse me. She reported that the defendant and she have been together for a period of time and both were residing at the location. That this is the second time the defendant has assaulted her. He assaulted her 3 days before she called the police for this incident. We would be asking, Your Honor, for a $3,000 surety bond, no contact, stay away from the location. He can have a one-time police escort to get his things, and we'd be requesting an evaluation, MH.
Okay. PD Kim, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 25 years old, and we would like to object to MH any kind of evaluation. We are okay with a behavioral health evaluation. However, I don't think he has any MH issue, Your Honor. He does not have any phone numbers for his family members right now because his phone numbers are stored in his cell phone, so he has nobody to bond him out. And we would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial, since this is his first violence offense ever. They have been dating for 8 months. However, my client has no objection to stay away or have no contact with Miss Lauren Cummings. And he will be anyway making some kind of tours for his music career, so he's okay with a stay away. They don't have any children together, Your Honor, and that's about it. We would like to request for a signature on bond. Thank you.
All right.
And Your Honor, can you sound for Mrs. Lauren Cummings if she is on the Zoom?
I see her
Yes,
name
yes,
right.
I'm here.
You kind of have a bad connection.
I'm sorry, hold on.
I can see you better now.
Yes. Okay, hello?
Yes. If you want to
Okay, I
address,
can address the court.
right, and raise your
Okay,
right hand for me. Raise your right hand for me so I can swear you in first. Do you affirm that testimony that you're about to
Yes,
give is the
ma'am.
truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you in fear of Mr. Daniel Pointer?
I am.
And do you want to have any further contact with him?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Those are my only questions. Any cross-examination from the state or the PD?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Can I
No,
also add something
we would like to,
else?
since we don't need to.
What is that?
I would like to say that I do think that it is very necessary for him to have a psych evaluation given his history the past 3 months leading
We'll
up to
just talk
this.
about, yeah. We can only talk about this incident.
But I just want to say he is definitely very, very mentally unstable and is dealing with, those things. So I don't think that it is safe for him to even be alone by himself.
I do not want
I
Your Honor
believe-
objection about MH issue brought up in the daylight YouTube live stream, Your Honor. She's not
Okay.
qualified to testify for that.
Actually, Ms. Kim, she is. You just
I mean-
testified that this gentleman doesn't even have any contact information for his own family. So this is a young woman that's been with this young man for the last 10 months and living together. So you're totally okay with suspending a conversation about mental health, but I did request an evaluation and there's a reason for that.
Then we would like to request for YouTube live stream to be stopped to discuss and have a breakout room, Your Honor.
I don't think there's anything else to discuss. I think there needs to be an evaluation.
His family on here.
Yes,
Who
he
are
has
you?
two families.
Somebody needs to give him their phone number.
I can give it to him,
And who are you?
his brother.
Okay.
We're okay if you want to do a breakout room, Your Honor. That's, up to you, no problem.
I don't know if we need a breakout room. Do we need it before my ruling? Is that what I'm hearing?
I guess not, Judge. What's your bond?
I don't,
All
I
right,
don't
we'll
know
go.
what I can and can't say, so
Who's speaking? Oh, okay. All right, I'll go ahead and it's his second arrest. So I'll give him a $3,000 signature bond. Can you take him pretrial?
Just level to it.
Okay, level 2. And I want him to take a 2-day anger awareness course. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And stay away from the 1888 Emory Street. Is that the victim's address?
No, that's his house.
Oh, that's his. Okay.
Yes.
And she does not reside there, is that correct?
No,
Correct,
she
Your
don't stay
Honor.
here.
They reside together at the location, Your Honor.
Ms. Cummings?
She can go to another place.
Ms. Cumming, I don't normally do that
Oh,
to the
I'm
victim.
sorry. Somebody had muted me. I'm sorry. I'm established resident at this place. Yes, it is under his name, but I am an established resident. We moved in here together. We've been living here together the whole time.
All right,
Then
and
our
but you
together.
said you didn't want any contact with him, correct?
I don't want any violent contact with him.
But do you want him to come back to live there with you? I'm thinking there needs to be some cooling down.
Yes, I will definitely need some cooling down. I don't want him
Okay.
to.
I'd like
Okay.
to interrupt. I think that's enough at this point. Her position has changed, and now the court's position is changing based on people who have not identified themselves sitting on the Zoom and chatting in that this is his apartment, not her apartment. These
Yeah,
people live together.
yeah. Mr. Shannon, I've not sworn you in, and I'm not going to hear testimony from you, but I do want to make sure that the victim is going to feel safe where she is. And are you going to live back at this 1888 Emory Street, correct, Ms. Cummings?
Yes.
All right. And in order to make you feel safe, I'm going to order the defendant to stay away from that location as long as you're living there. All
Okay.
right. So if he comes back there, you call the police for your safety. And so, Mr. Pointer, right now, you cannot go back to reside there as long as the victim is still there. And I can about tell what you're saying, but the victim has right to be safe at this point. And maybe she'll find somewhere else to go. But right now, as long as she's still living there, you cannot go back there, Mr. Pointer.
So, Mr. Cummings, Mr. Pointer, you have a right to file for eviction and at the magistrate court for dispossessory action.
No, you actually can't do that. The court has just ordered that there's to be no contact, and specifically, he cannot evict her. He has to wait
saying so?
until she goes home.
Don't say anything, Mr. Shannon.
That's it.
Okay.
Not.
You can't order him that he can go to another court and try to evict her when a judge has just issued a bond
Yeah,
saying
that
no
is correct.
contact where
Yeah,
she
that
is,
is
where
correct.
they live together, period. He's to have no contact with her. His family, who it looks like are here on the Zoom and not engaged, need to have no contact with her, no third-party contact, nothing. She needs to have time to get out of that location.
And get to a safe place.
Cannot
Which
evict someone who is a victim of a crime.
I do have plans on leaving. I don't have plans on staying there, but as of right now, because I'm not from here, so I do have plans on leaving. I just can't leave right now at this moment.
And we understand, Ms. Cummings, that's why we said you can have possession of this location, not Mr. Pointer, not Mr. Pointer's family. So, Mr. Shannon, make sure you're very clear on this and inform your brother and let him stay with you or somewhere else. But right now, he cannot go back to that location, or else he will find himself right back in the Fulton County Jail. And I want to make that very clear. He's not to contact her through anybody, no third parties or anything. You know, we just want to make sure that is very clear. He's not to talk about her on social media, and he is not to text her or anything. So I see there's a question. So who's going to pay the rent from now on?
Can I make a comment on that?
No.
You don't have
Family
to.
members of this defendant can reach out
Yes,
to
ma'am.
him with any questions.
Yeah.
Adults have to figure out their business based on rules of the court, rules of law. Done.
Yeah.
Okay.
And do I also see that his sister lives there?
No,
Is
it's
that-
just
is
me
that-
and him.
Just you and him. Okay, that must not be for this case.
Mr. Pointer, please feel free to call me. I'll explain
Is
here.
that a sister of the defendant's?
His
Marie
sister.
Whippy?
Yes.
Is that his sister?
Mariah? Yes, that is his sister.
That's his sister.
Yes.
So Your Honor,
So,
this shows that
so does
he
anyone
does have
else
family
reside there,
members.
Ms. Cummings? I want to make sure you're safe and you're there by
No,
yourself and
no.
safe.
No one else resides here. Mariah has actually been helping me out and supporting me through this whole thing. That's why I let her join the Zoom with me. But nobody else lives here. It's just me. It was just me and him.
Okay. All right. And I don't
Okay.
think there's anything else, but please, Ms. Cummings, stay in contact with the victim witness advocate at the solicitor's office. So if
Yes,
there's
ma'am.
any other services or assistance you need, they will provide that and give you some resources, okay?
I want to make
Yes.
sure that having contact with Maria, my client's sister, is not a third-party contact at this point, Your Honor.
Well, he's not to send any messages through her to
Correct.
Ms. Cummings, but he can talk to his own sister. The two of them talk about the weather, but he cannot, send
Send a
any
message.
subliminal messages or things of that nature. Or I would say talk about Ms. Cummings to his
Yep,
sister, knowing
sure.
that his sister's gonna go back and tell her.
Got it. Thank
Okay,
you, Your Honor.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next
All right.
we go to position number 10, Mr. Hudges.
What number?
10,
10,
10 on the regular calendar.
yes.
Mike Hughes, okay.
24 CR 00500931, Michael Hughes, 1 count of battery, family violence, and a 2nd count of battery against a female who is pregnant. Pre-trial.
12 total. 2023 probation. 2018 probation. 2017 simple battery DV conviction. And the 2017 probation. I got to step away for a minute. I'll be back. That's all, though.
Okay.
And that's my case, Your Honor. This is a incident from July the 24th. The victim's name is Deja, Dasia. I believe it's Huse, Huse. We have attempted to get in contact with her, but have not been successful yet. Police responded at about 10:30 to the location at 2301 Godby Road, apartment A23 in College Park. They saw that the victim had obvious bruising on her face. She reported that she had been struck in the face by the defendant using his fist. They had a verbal argument that escalated. Her 2 children were in the home, and she reported to police that she was 7 months pregnant. Police made contact with the defendant as he was leaving. The victim also reported that there had been prior violence. You did hear correctly that there's a prior battery family violence arrest from 2017 in Athens. He was pled down to simple battery family violence. Battery in this case is based on the visible bruising on her face where she's been struck. And then she is pregnant. That's the basis for the battery against a female. We'd be asking for a $2,000 surety. Your Honor, no contact, stay away from the location, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Thank you.
Okay. PD Cook.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 26 years old. He's lived in Georgia his entire life. He is primarily has lived in Athens. He has been here about 8 months. He is working currently at McDonald's. I was not able to get in touch with Miss Hughes either. They appear to have lived together at some point. He does have another place to go if it's the court's decision for a stay away or no further contact. We would be seeking, well, we'll leave the rest of it in the court's discretion, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to order a $3,000 surety bond. 1,500 on each. I'm going to order a stay away from the incident location. No further contact with the victim, Deja Hughes. He has to stay away from that 2301 Godby Road or wherever Ms. Hughes lives and works. Be 200 yards away from her and have no contact with her by third parties or any other means, no social media post about her or anything. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
I just got back. What's the ruling?
3,000 surety, 1,500 on each. No further contact with the victim.
Thank you.
Next, we can go to position number 16 on the regular calendar.
Okay.
Teague.
This is 24 CR 005095Y. Christopher Teague, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, 2nd count disorderly conduct, 3rd count of public drunk, and 4th count willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Pre-trial?
This is 9th arrest. 2022 is arrested for a CWAC charge. 2020 failure to exchange information conviction. I think that was dealing with a car accident. 2010 DUI conviction. That's it.
Okay. State.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident that occurred on the 23rd of July, specifically at the Avalon shopping area in Alpharetta. That's 5100 Avalon Boulevard. At about 9:30 p.m., police responded to the Kona Grill, where they were requested to assist with the removal of someone who was confronting his wife in the location and acting belligerently and was not going to leave. Police approached the defendant at the bar and asked him to walk outside. He got up and started to walk away with the police and just started saying, "Lawyer." Police informed this gentleman he'd been requested to leave the location, and he asked if they could get his phone. Police went in and got his phone off of the bar. He verified that he'd paid his tab and he was okay to leave. He displayed manifestations of intoxication. He smelled of alcohol. His eyes were bloodshot. He was slurring his speech. He argued with police as they told him he needed to leave the location. He claimed that he got to be there because he paid, I don't know, for parking and had paid for drinks, and that he couldn't be criminally trespassed or asked to leave. Multiple times police asked this gentleman to leave. He argued. He walked around with his phone. He challenged one of the security guards who I guess he assumed had called the police, and said, called this gentleman a little bitch and said things are about to get ugly to the police. He raised his voice and behaved in a violent and disturbing manner in a public place. He was put in the patrol car and was overheard saying that he was going to kill his wife because she had cheated on him. He was obviously very upset. He tried to fight security before police arrived. There are witness statement forms completed by the security on the scene. While police were cuffing this gentleman, he resisted. He tensed his arms and tried to pull away. He was searched incident to arrest and had a knife in his right pocket, and disclosed to police that he had a firearm in his backpack. He was charged with reckless for the possession of that firearm that has been NOD'd. The charges on this case, Your Honor, are criminal trespass for staying at the location at Avalon after being requested to leave, disorderly conduct by calling names and challenging to fight, among other things, and public drunk, as well as willful obstruction. The gentleman is out on bond for a CWAC charge out of Cherokee County from 2022 and has a prior DUI, actually 2 prior DUIs on his history, one from Florida and one from Georgia. So there is possibly a substance issue. We would recommend an evaluation. I believe our office has tried to reach out to the wife of the gentleman in this case, although she is not a victim listed in this case. She was a witness. I believe she might be on the Zoom. So just for your information, she's not a listed victim here, but she is present. We'd be asking for a surety bond, Your Honor, to stay away from the location, the Avalon, to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And that's it. Thank you.
What's the victim's name again?
The victim is the officer in the case, the obstruction
Oh.
officer, and people he was trying to fight on the scene, and the location, Avalon, where he was being disruptive and refusing to leave.
Okay. PD Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 39 years old, and the criminal trespass set by the judge, he has $600 surety bond and disorderly conduct, public drunk, and reckless conduct. They all had a UJR already, so we thought those were kind of like handled and done with it, and willful obstruction, 600 surety bond, so total of 1,200 surety bond that he has right now. So we don't want that to be increased any more than that. And he is gainfully employed. His wife and they have a small mom and pop business. They're self-employed to do a swimming pool company. They have done that from 2017, and they also have a minor child who is only 5 years old. And my client has served Marine Corps from 2003 to 2011, and he is 100% veteran disabled. And Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial. He does not have that much serious charges, and this is yeah, there was no victim other than police officer, and we would like to request for a signature on bond. He has no objection to stay away from Avalon. Thank you.
Your Honor, we also would request a abstain, so random screens, perhaps.
Not sure how, I guess we can do that at this point, early in the game a little bit, but I'm going to order a $4,000 surety bond, 1,000 on each charge. And with that surety bond, to stay away from the Avalon. I know it's a large, it's in a large development, a large area. Is it a live, work, and play type situation or no?
No.
No.
But Your Honor, he already has a $1,200 surety bond, Your Honor. I don't think it should be going up.
What was the breakdown on the 1,200?
It was 600 for criminal trespass, UJR for disorderly conduct, public drunk, and then $600 obstruction. So total of $1,200, Your Honor.
I'm kind of disturbed about the facts and his conduct, and his history is not very good.
He served for our country for 8 years.
Ms. Kim, that doesn't mean you get to act like this in public. I think the judge has heard all the arguments.
Ms. Kim, because he served our country, I'm very impressed by that. But now that he's not, I'm not impressed by what just happened. And so I'm not going to let that weigh against my better judgment to make sure that this victim is going to be safe from any further incidents with this defendant, regardless of what the situation was at that time. So he's already on a 1,200.
Yes, Your Honor.
And it looks like he's got some questionable history. So I've said that he should have no further contact with this officer, and he's got to stay away from the Avalon. So they gave him UJR already on the disorderly and the public drunk Do I need to order him to go to some AA meetings as well? Or he's got a prior DUI and now we're public drunk, so he may need to get back in the program.
We have no
Okay.
objection, Your Honor.
No objections. I tell you what, if I stay with the 1,200 surety, the 600 on the criminal trespass and the 600 on the obstruction, then I'm going to order him to go to AA meetings twice a week.
Sure.
And he's to have no further contact with his officer. I'm concerned about the wife, to be honest. I know she's not a victim at this point, but hopefully we don't see him back down here. I was gonna order him to take some anger awareness courses. Maybe he needs to get in touch with that. So is he getting a disability check?
That I have not verified, Your Honor.
100% disabled means you are being paid by the VA after service. And there's no domestic violence charge in this case because his threats to kill his wife weren't heard by his wife.
Wow.
I'm sure if police had actually interviewed her and asked about what was going on and sent us documentation of that, this would be a little bit different conversation, Your Honor. But
Yeah, I
there
was
are some
wondering about that.
concerns.
Yeah.
The issue for the state is being in public with a firearm, making threats, and challenging people in positions of authority to fight in public places while armed. And so that's our concern, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's pretty serious, PD Kim.
Mr. Teague, I do understand you have raised your hands, but you have a right to remain silent. I don't want you to bring anything about the facts of the case.
And I don't have the charge of the gun charge either. Okay, I have to go with what I have. So I'll stick to the 1,200 surety. I'm gonna be very, 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 very
1,200 surety?
yeah, it's what he's under now. 600 on the criminal trespass and 600 on the willful obstruction. And he has UJR signature bonds on the disorderly conduct and the public drunk.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And then 2 AA meetings a week.
Yes.
And again, and I really don't want to do it, but I'll do it and hope that we don't see Mr. Teague again.
Thank you.
Okay.
Your Honor, for the calendar, could I get the what were the amounts and levels of the signature bonds?
The signature bonds, UJR, when you said level, they're not, those are not pretrial. Those are signature bonds.
Oh, okay, those are jail. Okay.
Yeah, those would
Okay.
just be jail.
Okay, what were the amounts associated?
I didn't, but I tell you what, I could go ahead and do those two for 1,000.
Okay, thank
So
you.
that if he comes back around, we'll at least be starting out at 1,000. Okay.
Thank
you, Mr. Cook.
Thank you.
Are you doing 1,000 each or 1,000 total for those two charges, Your Honor?
1,000 each.
Okay.
And there's a reckless conduct that's not on the calendar.
Reckless?
Yeah, but it's on his booking sheet, but not on the calendar.
It was an NOD by the state, Your Honor.
Oh, okay.
Again, because you can't charge him with reckless conduct for having legal possession of a firearm in a public place.
Mm-hmm.
We could go to position number 4.
Was it a 4 for add-on calendar?
4
No.
on the regular. I think we're done with the add-on. Haven't we done all of those?
Oh, we didn't do Shivers yet. Number 4.
Oh, 4, you're right. 4 is the only 4 and 6 are left on the add-on. So is this 4 on the regular or the add-on?
Regular.
Okay.
This is a waiver
4 is a waiver.
on the regular calendar. Yes.
Okay, for Calabrese or Calabrese.
Yes,
We usually
yes,
do the waivers last.
yes, that's fine.
Keep going, deputy. Who's next?
Can we do the waivers while we try to get the other two out here? We're having some behavior problems right now.
Oh, I didn't notice the courtroom was empty. Okay. We'll go ahead and do number 4. 24 CR 0050908. Brian Calabrese or Calabrese. 1 count of battery family violence. Retrial.
2024 probation. On probation out of Douglas County, CWAC charge. 2023 probation, 2022 probation. 2022 simple battery no-low, 2022 terrorist threats conviction, and the 2021 probation.
So what is this? His 6th arrest? Or
He
5th?
got over 20 arrests.
Oh, over 20. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. I just want to point out that the simple battery conviction was against the same victim in this case. The 2022 conviction was also against the same victim in this case. For the simple battery, one of the conditions of that was that he have no contact with the victim. For the terroristic threats, which occurred before the simple battery, it was that he have no violent contact with this victim. This incident occurred July 12th, 2024 at the Economy Hotel located at 4265 Shirley Drive. The defendant is accused of punching the victim, Elizabeth Stevens, with whom he shares a child, over 10 times in her head, face, chest, and stomach, causing bruises to multiple parts of her body and swelling to her fingers. The defendant was upset with the victim because he thought she had been talking to other men, and that is why he violently attacked her. Our office has spoken with the victim in this case, who stated that her and the defendant were together for 3 years, and they share a 2-year-old son. She stated that they do have a DV history and that she is afraid of him. She stated that she has a TPO against the defendant and that the defendant convinced her to bring their son to the hotel where he was staying since he'd been released from jail and wanted to see his son. At one point, while the defendant was attacking the victim, he moved their son to the other side of the bed and then proceeded to continue to assault her. The son was present, according to the victim, during the incident. She also stated the defendant took her keys. As she began packing, he threatened to sexually assault her if she left. Eventually, they were able to get out of that hotel room. And when they went to load up the car, she ran to a security guard and called 911 for help. She stated that she did go to DeKalb Medical and she will be emailing us those documents. They advised her that nothing was broken, but that she might have a possible mild concussion. She stated she wants no contact with this defendant and wants him to stay away from her and her son, as well as away from her residence. The state's recommendation is a $5,000 surety bond, no further contact with this victim or the minor child, stay away from the victim's residence, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol, and anger awareness. And I would ask the court to sound for the victim, Ms. Elizabeth Stevens, if she is on the Zoom.
Okay, Elizabeth Stevens. See a couple of iPhones. Ms. Stevens on the Zoom. All right, go ahead. Is it UPD Cook?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, my client is 44 years old. He has lived in the Atlanta area his entire life. He is currently not working and is in fact homeless as we speak. Beyond that, I would just ask for a surety bond as low as the court can do, given that he has no income and is looking for a place to live. He has been in shelters. Sometimes, the pattern. Sometimes he's finds shelters. Sometimes he's on the street, and that's kind of where he is at this point.
Well, what I'm most concerned about is someone that would beat their child's mother in front of the child.
Yes, I understand.
And this is the third or fourth case, is that right?
This is at least the third case. He has two 2022 convictions against this victim.
Well, I think he should have a cash bond personally.
We would not
Um,
be opposed to that at all, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to order $3,000 cash bond. And I'm going to order for him to stay away. I'll say from the incident location or any location where the victim may reside or work. No
And I
further
could provide the victim's, I'm sorry, I could provide the victim's address, if you need to include that in the order. I'm
You
not
put
sure
that-
if he knows.
Put that in the chat
Absolutely.
to Miss Champion. And then no further contact with the victim and the child. What are the child's initials? Do we know that?
She did not provide the child's initials, and it's
Okay.
not in the warrant.
And it's not in there. Okay, well, I'm going to order that. No further contact with the victim and her child. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. I'm sorry.
Unless things have changed, they used to get a copy of the bond order. So if it goes on there, he'll see the address.
Well, just put her residence and her employment. Let's leave off the address. Okay. You have that, Miss
Mr. Howard.
Champion.
Thank you.
I know. Thank you, Mr. Howard.
Yes, ma'am, I have it.
Okay. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And if he's got the TPO against him, I mean, there's other things he can be charged with.
Yes, Your Honor.
He needs to be careful.
We could do position number 15.
15, okay. And is that a waiver too, or what?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's a waiver?
Yes.
Oh,
That's PD Kim's client, so she should be able to let you know.
Yes, it is my case, Your Honor. Sender.
okay. Has it been filed?
This
No.
is a waiver case, Your Honor.
I was asking, has it been filed?
Waiver has been filed, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, this is 24 CR 005034G. Jared Sanders, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass and damage to property, 2nd count of disorderly conduct. Pre-trial?
23. Got to open criminal damage to property. Obstruction. That's 24 PI 003577. I also have an open ag assault. 2024 assault battery conviction. 2014 possession of cocaine conviction. I think you got a current FTA too. That's all.
Okay.
And that's my case, Your Honor. This is an incident that occurred on the 23rd of July. This case was previously on a first appearance, but reset. It was charged for criminal trespass and disorderly. Police responded, or actually just saw at 800 Marietta Boulevard around 6 p.m., saw the defendant as he pulled multiple trees and plants out of the ground, so street side plantings by the city, and he was throwing them into the roadway, creating a hazard. They observed him as he was doing this. He was screaming and cursing and causing a public disturbance. Police officers approached him and ordered him to the ground. He began screaming that he has a STI and COVID and he's going to spit on the officers. He was generally disruptive and difficult. The report indicates that they tried to transport this gentleman to the Fulton County Jail, but were told that the jail was full and they were not allowing any more inmates in at that point. So he was taken back to Zone 1 and they stood by until the jail began accepting inmates again. He does have a failure to appear as well as a long criminal history out of South Carolina. many convictions for possession with intent, time in prison, recent arrests, and open cases for aggravated assault and damage to property. He does have a conviction and status as a result of that on a CWAC case, Your Honor. We'd be asking for a $2,000 bond through pretrial, whatever the level that Mr. Howard would recommend. Otherwise, a surety bond, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. There's nowhere for him to stay away from. The victim is the city. He's just going to pull out more plants. I'm not sure. Perhaps there needs to be an evaluation.
I didn't recommend anything with this history. It's up to the judge.
You haven't recommended anything all day. I've been waiting to hear what you say.
I had a feeling he was going to say that. Go ahead, PD Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, I will be recommending for social worker services, visit in person to get BHET done for him. He is not employed. He does not have any financial means to pay for any bond. So even $100, a good bond will be like a no bond for him right now. So I would like to, if there is also a failure to appear as well, Your Honor. So we would like to request for $100 good bond. And he does have a long history. We do understand that as well. But he's not going anywhere because of failure to appear. Thanks, Your Honor.
All right. I will give him a 1,000 surety bond through the jail, 500 on each.
Is that SOB jail?
Yes.
Okay.
What did I say? I think I said that wrong, didn't I? Yes, SOB jail, 1,500 on each. I'm gonna order that BHET.
Thank you.
And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And staying away from where? I don't know. Any
I don't think
city property or staying away, especially if he's going there to do any damage.
it was
So, I
800
mean,
Marietta Boulevard. It's just the street, and it's planting
Yeah.
run by the street, by the
Right.
city.
Better-
So
Well,
just
I could say
follow the
that,
law.
stay away from that location and any other city properties that he may be inclined to do damage to. I'd rather put some kind of language in there.
I appreciate it.
Okay. And I guess that's it.
Now we have position 4 on the add-on, Mr. Sugar.
Okay, 4 add-on.
I believe his mother is online waiting for her son's case, Mr. Shiver.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. See what I did with my add-on calendar. All right, this is 24 CR 005105E. Travion Shivers, charged at 1 count of terroristic threat, 2nd count of reckless conduct, and a 3rd count of simple assault family violence. Pre-trial.
Second arrest. 2022 burglary in the first, burglary in the second. Criminal damage to property, 2nd degree. A CWAC charge and theft by taking, that's open. It's 23 SC 188143. He's out on pretrial on one of those charges, so that'll be a surrender.
Okay.
And Your Honor, that's my case. This defendant is out on bond for a case in Superior Court, requiring that he have no firearms. The case in front of you today is from March of this year, March the 21st. Police were called to 875 and Hank Aaron Drive, apartment 505, on a shots fired call. They met, this was about 10:15 p.m. They met with the victim. Her name is Adriana Parks. She is on Zoom if you would sound for her when it's appropriate. She reported that she'd had an altercation with the father of her child, Mr. Shivers. He came to the location demanding his phone. She told him she was not in possession of his phone, but he continued to rant and he threatened her, saying that he was going to shoot the place up. The victim provided footage from a neighbor's Ring camera that captures the defendant making the statement to shoot the place up and then firing a weapon into the area near the parking lot as he said that. No shell casings were recovered. The case was transferred over to a domestic violence detective who took out warrants, and then Mr. Shivers was arrested. He does have an open burglary and criminal damage to property, Your Honor, and that's where he has a bond condition requiring he have no weapons. The state would request a $3,000 surety bond, Your Honor, have no contact with the victim in this case. We did attempt to reach out to her, but I was not clear about what her position was before court. We would argue no contact and to stay away from any location and obviously to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. This is a danger to the public issue, Your Honor, and obviously an issue following through with the order of the court. Thank you. And if you would sound from Ms. Parks.
All right. Miss Adriana Parks, do you wish to address the court, yes or no? Ms. Parks? And then Ms. Shivers is the defendant's mom? Okay. So I'm not going to hear from the mom if you were not a victim in the case.
I apologize, George. Miss Parks is coming in now.
Oh, she's coming in. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, Ms. Parks.
Hi, I am,
Hold
we
on a
share a
second.
child.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Slow down for me. Do you wish to address the court today? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. And I'm going to have to swear you in first. And I need to see more than just your forehead. Okay. Thank you. All right. Raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right. Put your hand down for me. I have two questions for you. And this is not a trial. This is a bond hearing. So
Okay.
we're a little bit more limited. I'm not going to get into the facts and things of that nature. Not too deep anyway. Are you in fear of Mr. Shivers?
No.
Do you want to have any further contact with Mr. Shivers?
Yes.
And you were beginning to state you all have a child together. How old is your child?
She's 1 year old.
1 year old? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you all live together?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. That's all I have. Any cross-examination by the state or by the PD?
Just briefly, I have a question. Ms. Parks, this incident happened in March.
Yes, ma'am.
And what happened after the police report was made? Did you guys continue to be together?
Yes, we did. And he's actually been better with the child.
That's enough. I appreciate that.
Okay.
So you guys have an ongoing relationship?
Yes.
Has he been in contact with you since his arrest?
Are you talking about today after he just got arrested this morning?
Yeah.
Oh, no, ma'am. I haven't heard. I got the message from, I think Garcia.
Who's that?
She's on here. I'm not sure. Let me look up her name.
Oh, you mean a victim advocate?
Oh, yeah. Gloria or something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And you two share a child. Are you married?
No, we're not.
And has Mr. Shivers legitimated that child through an action in the court system?
I'm sorry. Do you mean like have he? Sorry. Can you repeat that?
Yeah. Did Mr. Shivers file a legitimation action to make your child that you share with him his and have parental rights to that child?
No, we haven't got towards that yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Were you afraid in March when this happened and you made this police report?
No, ma'am.
What was your reason for making the police report?
So my aunt put the warrant out on him,
No,
but it was
ma'am.
only,
Did you make a police report in March of 2024?
no, ma'am.
So you today are saying you didn't speak to the police and show them a Ring camera?
My mom gave it to them.
Okay. Did you? I'm going to ask one more time. Do you remember speaking to the police in March of 2024 and making this report?
Yes, I remember the police came to the
Okay.
house.
So I think I'm clear. It's clear, Your Honor. Ms. Parks isn't going to say that she made this police report and her position has changed. And I would argue that it's because an incident that occurred in March and the
Well,
defendant.
can I say
Excuse me.
something?
Excuse me.
No, 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 no.
An
No.
incident that occurred in March where these two continued to be together and he was just arrested today. That's an influencing of a witness issue. And that's the concern of the state, specifically with domestic violence cases. The victim reporting that she wasn't afraid when she made this police report in March is just unbelievable. And that the facts in front of the court that don't have anything to do with the facts of this case are that this young man is in possession of a firearm when he's been ordered not to. And he's recorded on video making these threats. Shooting a firearm into an area that's an apartment complex where other people live is dangerous to the public, not just to the child that these two share and to her. So we would be requesting absolutely no contact, Your Honor. Thank you. He also clearly does not have rights to have access to this child. So, you know, there's no issue there as far as the state's concerned.
All right. Go ahead, PD Kim.
Yes, Your Honor, my client,
You
Mr.
can,
Shiv,
hold on a second. Ms. Parks, you can mute yourself. We're finished questioning. You can just listen to the proceeding.
my client
Okay.
is 18 years old, Your Honor, and he is a senior in high school, and he is going back to school this coming August. And Your Honor, I believe they're neighbors, and they don't live in same unit at all. However, it is. They live in the same neighborhood, Your Honor. I believe they don't have any intimate relationship anymore. They're kind of co-parenting of their child together right now. And we have no objection to no further contact. However, he cannot stay away because he's still going to high school. He's just 18 years old, and his mother is here to co-sign for his bond. And we would like to request for signature on bond through a pretrial, whichever level Your Honor find it appropriate. He is definitely willing to have a curfew. He's not working right now. However, he wants to graduate from his high school. And I guess he has to go through his legitimation for the child. That's all, Your Honor. Thank you.
Y'all got to start listening to me when I talk. He's already out on pretrial, Kim, so that's going to be revoked. So there's nothing for the mother to co-sign.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
Then
So this is
Mr. in
gonna
the
be,
high school, maybe $100 good bond, Your Honor, or $1 bond.
not with
So
that
I
history.
still can't speak.
Nope, this is, nope, no ma'am. Because it technically at the moment involves him and the victim. And I am here to make sure that the victim and her child are safe. And that he follows the orders of the court, which he's showing that he will not do. So no, mom can't advocate for him. He's got to do it for himself and follow the law and be more respectful of women at this point and his child.
And can I speak, ma'am?
Nope. Nope, nope, nope. This is a bond hearing. I've heard enough, all that I need to know to rule on this matter at this moment. And you have a duty to yourself and to your child to be safe. And we're going to make sure that as best we can. So I'm going to order a $3,000 surety bond. That will be $1,000 on each of the 3 charges. And with that surety bond, he is to have no further contact with Adriana Parks. No further contact. And I mean it, no further contact. No sneaking, making contact, no living together, nothing. There needs to be the ample period of making sure that everyone is safe And since the child is not legitimated and he doesn't have rights to him, I'm not going to say anything about visitation because I'm not ordering that. I'm not addressing that because he doesn't have any rights to the child. I'm going to order no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons or guns while on bond. So if he's seen with the gun from this day forward, he'll be back in the Fulton County Jail. Well, he's going to be back anyway on the bond revocation. And so that's where we are. 3,000 surety. All right, who do we have next?
Position number 2 on the regular calendar. And I did forget about the wage position on the add-on. So we have one more wage after this.
Okay. And you
So what
said two on the which one?
Regular calendar.
2 and 3, 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
All right. Oh, he has 2 cases. Gotcha. 24 CR 00508870. Terrence Bronner charged with 2 counts of theft by deception. And that's from May 18th. The second case, Terrence Bronner charged with 1 count of theft by deception, 24 CR 005088D. And that's from June 3rd, 2024.
36 total. Got an open traffic case out of the city. On probation in Clayton County, theft by taking. 2023, theft by deception, NOLO. 2019, probation. 2017, failure to appear, financial transaction card, theft conviction. 2016, FTAs and probation. 2015, FTA. 2012, entering auto conviction.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Position 2, the first incident occurred May 18th, 2024. The defendant is accused of approaching Annie Hunter and asking her to deposit 2 $400 money orders into her Wells Fargo bank account and then give him the money. At first, the victim, Ms. Annie Hunter, told the defendant she couldn't do it, but then she proceeded to because she was afraid. After the fact, it was determined that the money order was actually for $4. So the defendant had a total of $792 stolen from her. The second incident occurred June 3rd, 2024. The defendant in that case is Mellow Christian. Same pattern here. The defendant approached her, asked her to deposit a $400 money order into her Wells Fargo bank account and give him the money. After she deposited the money order into her account and gave him the money, it was determined that the money order was for $4. So that victim, Ms. Mellow Christian, had $396 stolen from her. The incidents occurred at the same Wells Fargo ATM located at 876 Cleveland Avenue. Given the defendant's lengthy history, which includes numerous fraud and theft-related charges, the state's recommendation is a $1,000 surety on each count of theft by deception. No further contact with either of the victims, Annie Hunter or Mellow Christian. Stay away from that Wells Fargo ATM. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
All right, PD Cook.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 30 years old, has lived in the area his entire life. At this point, he is works occasionally as a road flagger. His income is very low. We would ask the court for a very low surety bond. I don't know if we have no problem with a stay away.
Well, I guess
Also, the defendant was driving a Tesla, so I don't know how much money he does or doesn't have, but he was driving a Tesla.
interesting. I see why they noted that. All right, I'm going to order a $2,000 surety bond, 1,000 on each. And stay away from the Wells Fargo Bank. probably want to order him unless he's doing business at any of the banks to stay away. Don't want him to get out and do this to other victims.
Yes, Your Honor.
No further contact with the victim in this first case, Annie Hunter. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Let's go to the second case. And that's 1,000 on each. Sure, I'll figure that out. All right, second case. And what were you saying, Mello? What was the lady's first name?
Mello, I believe her last name is Christian.
Christian, Miss Christian. All right, and on the second case, $1,000 surety bond. Stay away from Wells Fargo, any banking institution, check cashing stores, unless he really has his own business to conduct. But, you know, I'd like to ban him from all of them while he's forging and sending money orders through them. But I'll at least limit it to Wells Fargo because he obviously doesn't have an account there. No further contact with Miss Christian. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Next.
I can bring $3,000 to the jail.
Position number 6.
Sounds like he needs a higher bond.
Mm-hmm. (24 CR 00509 F Edna Handspike. Is this a waiver?
This was, but she bonded, I was told earlier today.
No, position 6, Mr. Hassan Watson.
Who? Oh, you talking about the
On
add-on?
the add-on, on the add-on.
Oh, but 6 on the regular bonded out?
Yes.
The add-ons
Handspike.
in the regular calendar.
So add-on number 6 is a waiver as well. That's my client, Your Honor.
6 Hassani Watson is a waiver.
Yes, I would like to request for YouTube live stream to be stopped because of MH issue, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's all.